Throughout our lives, we're fed various myths that may come from our parents, myths that may come from the media, and all of them are things that will hold us back from having money. All of them are things that will hold us back from having success. Today, I want to just dispel a few of those myths and tell you why they will hold you back from success. Now, I've been gone for quite a while from this channel, and the reason why is because I've been doing a lot of self-development. I have the life philosophy where I think it is very valuable to listen more than you talk. So that is very ironic for someone who ends up on YouTube, but it is so important that we constantly feed ourselves with new information and are constantly improving. In the recent past, I've read 3 books, one being The Secret, the next was Think and Grow Rich, and the next was Grit by Angela Duckworth. These books really shaped what I think about where I'm going in life, and they really just helped me form a plan. One of my favorite quotes from the Buddha is that we become what we think. Until we're thinking the proper thoughts, we don't even know what to go after. We have no direction in life. We have no plan. We don't know where we're going. We don't know how to get there. Imagine that you're opening up Google Maps and you have no destination and you have no route. That is how a lot of people go through life. They have no plan and they have no destination. They don't know where they're going and they don't know how to get there, so they end up nowhere. I hope that these tips help you clear out some mental blockage from the past, no matter where it may have come from, whether it came from your family or wherever it came from. Now, myth number 1, I can almost guarantee you that if someone tries to tell you this myth, they're about to try to sell you a course, because myth number 1 is investment returns are the surefire way to get to retirement. Now, the reason that this myth is very pervasive and is very attractive to believe is that when we come into investing, we want to believe that our small salary, whatever we have, if we're making $40,000, $50,000 a year, we want to believe that that is what's going to get us to early retirement, as long as we just squeeze and skimp and just save every penny. But at the end of the day, trying to squeeze 20 cents out of a dollar is still just 20 cents. At the end of the day, what's going to get us to retirement is our savings rate and our earnings. So what we need to do is increase our earning potential, which we need to be honest with ourselves. Let's say that you wanted $1 million income next year. You just want $1 million. The easiest way for you to do that is to do something that is worth paying you $1 million. There's no rocket science to making more money. You have to provide more value. And once you can accept that idea, then you'll be much closer to making more money. Let's say that you had the ability to bring in, say, $150 million of business for a business. Well, then you might be worth paying $1 million for your employment. But if you have skills that are just not worth that amount, you have to be honest with yourself, because the only way that you're going to get to that point is if you do some self-improvement and get to that point. People are not stupid. They're not going to give you money for things that you don't deserve money for. So the quicker that we can get that through our head, the faster we can start increasing our earning potential. Myth: it is your employer's job to pay you a living wage. Fact: it is your employer's job to 1, follow the law. That means paying you minimum wage if they can, and 2, maximize company profits. That's what your employer's job is to do. Fact: it is your job to earn a living wage, and it is your job to give yourself a raise. How do you earn a living wage? Well, if you don't have any skills that are worth much per hour, you got to put in more hours. My honest assessment of my own abilities right now is that my hours are not worth that much. So I put in a lot of hours, and I'm putting a lot of hours into self-improvement so I can get myself to the point where my hours are worth more. In addition, it is your job to give yourself a raise. You can do that through education, you can do that through self-education, you can do that through investments, buying dividend stocks, and all of those things of that nature. It is no one's obligation through their business, whether that be their rental property or whether that be their business that you go and work in, to give you a raise. You have to give yourself a raise. Look out for yourself, because that's how you're going to progress through life. I see that a lot, that people expect that they are supposed to be taken care of by the rich. The rich have no obligation to take care of us. We have to take care of ourselves. So please, if you're out there and you have that mentality, it's a mentality that I used to have. I used to think the rich need to take care of me, until I started to understand what the rich are really doing, what they're going through, what type of risks they are taking on by employing us. So What we have to do is make ourselves more valuable and give ourselves a raise through self-education and through investment. Myth: retirement means sitting at home and doing nothing. Fact: retirement means doing whatever you want to. It means having your time free. It means that you do not have to give your time to the almighty dollar. It does not mean that you have to stop working. It does not mean that you have to stop thinking. It does not mean that you have to sit on the couch all day and just be bored. Most people that retire that way at 65, they just end up dying. Retirement is not something that needs to happen at 65. It can happen as soon as you're ready for it. Retirement is a number, not an age. Myth: things will make you happy. Fact: satisfying those basal desires that underlie the thing or the person, that's what makes you happy. When you desire to have, say, a girlfriend, boyfriend, wife, husband, family, all those things, what you're truly desiring is acceptance. There's other ways for you to get that acceptance. What you truly desire when you desire that burger, what you truly desire is to be satiated. You desire to have food. You desire that full feeling. You don't need to necessarily eat that burger. I'll give you guys an example of a personal desire of mine, and that is that every night I would go to work, I noticed that I always bought Gatorade. So what did I do? I decided to make that desire fulfillable, but for cheaper. So every night I fill up this big bottle of Gatorade. I can show you guys right here. Fill it up with powdered version of Gatorade, and it saves me a lot of money. I can still fulfill that desire. In addition, one of my goals for this year is to drink at least 100 ounces of fluid, and I've noticed that just my own personal self, I cannot drink 100 ounces of just pure water. I probably should, but the best way that I can trick myself into drinking that much fluid is by drinking that powdered drink, which it's not that bad for you. Like, we can get into a debate in the comment section. A little bit of sugar is not going to harm you if you exercise the way I exercise. I've been giving a lot more mindfulness to that. Just, what do I really want? Can I do it for cheaper? And do I really need it? What am I really desiring? What desire am I really trying to satisfy? Myth: investing your money helps you in retirement. Fact: investing your money helps you right now. Investing your money is just giving yourself a raise. If I were to go put down, let's say $24,000 on a 5% yielding dividend stock, well, I just gave myself a $100 monthly raise. A lot of people out there want their boss to give them a raise when they are just a few decisions away from giving themselves a raise. When you're collecting things like dividends or rent checks, you don't necessarily have to use those things in retirement. You can use them right now. They improve your standard of living right now. It's just like exercise. Exercise doesn't improve your health in the future. Exercise improves your health right now, your mental health right now. Myth: you can reliably get rich quick through things like real estate leverage, stock leverage, trading, options, etc. Fact: most of those methods for most people are ways to get poor quick. The best thing that most people out there could do, and I say this over and over here on the channel, is just invest in a broad-based index fund. A lot of people don't have any interest in what I say in my stock picking videos. The reason why I pick stocks is because I find it interesting. Same reason why I put powdered drinks in my lunch bag. I will drink more of that powdered drink. So if I want myself to drink more water, it's not necessarily a good thing to drink that powdered drink instead of drinking water. You see where I'm making the comparison, index fund versus stock picking. It's not necessarily a good thing, but it's better for me to drink that powdered drink than for me to drink no water. I would not put money into index funds because I am bored by them. I'm willing to put up to 50% of my income or more into stocks just because they interest me so much. And like we said before, that's what's going to get you to retirement, is investing a huge percentage of your money. I could go an entire video on why most people should probably be investing in index funds, but just to sum it up really quick, I'll just say two things. One of them being, if you want to learn more about index fund investing, check out the book Random Walk Down Wall Street, and it'll tell you how most portfolio managers cannot outperform the index, and that most people are just better in a low-cost index fund. Number two thing that I'll tell you is that if you don't have any interest in researching these companies, you don't know how to set a price target, You don't know when to buy, you don't know when to sell, and you're just going to end up losing money. Stock picking, you have the potential to beat the index, but unless you get very lucky over time or do an extensive amount of research, you most likely will not beat the index. Number 8, I might get skewered or canceled for this one, but number 8 myth is that gentrification is a tragedy. Now, if you ask me, I think that we are focused on the wrong stuff. I think we are focused on the wrong tragedies for Black and brown people. I think that we are focused on the wrong tragedies for poor people. I think that the real tragedy for poor people is living above your means. I think that the real tragedies for Black and brown communities are things like this Harriet Tubman credit card that is going to systemically pump money out of the Black and brown community. I think that the real tragedy is deciding to live on 80% of your income, giving that over to your landlord just so that you can live in a nice neighborhood, just so that you can never retire, never have any financial freedom. And I think that we're just focusing on the wrong things. We're focusing on keeping up with the Joneses, we're focusing on staying in our old neighborhoods, but I got news for you. I did the math and the Joneses are broke. So don't worry about what the Joneses are doing, don't worry about rent prices going up. And like I said before, nobody is entitled to what people do in their businesses. If you sell a product or service, it is a business. If you own the home, it is your business. So if someone wants you to bring your rent prices down and you don't want to bring your rent prices down, you don't have to bring your rent prices down. And like I said, we should be focusing on building wealth, not on keeping up with the Joneses. Myth: delayed gratification means that you have to wait and wait and wait for gratification. Fact: people who operate with a system that promotes delayed gratification get gratification all the time. Me, I work out. Every time I walk by the mirror, I get gratification. Every time somebody compliments my hair, I get gratification. Every time someone walks up to me and says, "Hey, what do you do for your skin?" I get gratification. Every time someone walks up to me and says something like, "Hey, you have nice teeth," or every time I receive a dividend, or every time someone comes over to my house and says, "Wow, your place is really organized and clean," those are gratification. Those happen every day. So delayed gratification, it's not necessarily delayed once it starts to roll in. Instant gratification, you're always chasing gratification. Delayed gratification, it's just rolling in seemingly from nowhere. And it's awesome. So I really promote that here on this channel because that's really where fulfillment comes from. And that's why I've been so happy in my life just to have it. When you operate on a system that prioritizes delayed gratification, every day is a treat. And the last myth / off-spread notion is you should live a little. Now, a lot of these people don't understand entrepreneurs. A lot of these people don't understand super savers. And what we think as entrepreneurs and super savers is that you shouldn't live a little, you should live a lot. That notion that you should live a little, it's honestly very depressing. It's what leads people to feel depressed about their life, about their prospects in life. So don't live a little, plan to live a lot. And hopefully you guys like this video. Hopefully you like these tips. And hopefully we end up actually using this video because I'm just using this mic, just using this lighting setup. So I don't know how it's going to look, but if you guys liked it, go ahead and give this a like and make sure you share this wherever you share cool things. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys in the next one.